Okay. Okay. Vader Games in the building. Levels better be good. Had to do a lot of setup. I'm so sorry for the delay. I see what's going on out here. Danny in the building. Big up, Vader. I know this isn't relevant to football, but Queen Elizabeth might be dead. I hear you, man. I saw the news. It's yeah, it's the end of an era. It's the end of an era. So pray for health and see what the recovery is. But yeah, it's not relevant, but I hear you. All life is important. Okay, I think my lighting is a little off, but I'm gonna make it work. Um, Vader Games TV. I am Vader Games. This is the Why Always Me show. And yeah, I'm not happy with the lighting, but damn, show must go on. First things first, my peoples, you come first. Okay, you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit me up in the comments. You'll be part of this live show. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back, and thank you. Let's have the conversation, and also hit that like button, share it, whatever group chats you happen to be in. Get the word out. The larger audience we can have in terms of a conversation, the more we can exchange views and different points of view, of course. McLovin's in the building. Who? Yo, good looking out, McLovin. I'm messing around with a different time. I'm going to see if I can make this a little more consistent. It's not usually on this day, but we got to make things work, right? We got to make things work with Champions League and obviously the Premier League, and we got to work around things. So I'm here Thursday, 10 a.m. out here in Toronto. Obviously, the time it is for you guys. Now, I can't kick this show off. I can't kick this show off properly without first reminding you of the comments on the screen. And I know we end up talking more, we end up talking a lot more than just these topics, but this is what we're definitely going to go through. Hit me up in the comments if there's other things you want to address, but no, we're going to be getting to this. And before it's official or for it to be official, I got to kick it off right. I got to kick it off right and know this. This I'm actually excited to share, and I'm going to be I'm going to be early with this. So I've said this before. The more we have this show, the more I'm able to talk, the more I get to know from you, about you, the more you guys and girls get to know about me. I'm a father of two. My son, my son's 11. He's actually been messing around with this app that allows him to make beats, and I've challenged him. I've asked him, father to son, and we'll see how quickly he kind of delivers on this. But father to son, I said, "Hey, can you make me a beat? I'm gonna, I'm looking to possibly use it." I didn't tell him for what. Okay, I told him what kind of energy I wanted. That's it. So in the future, if you see a different intro, whether it's for Why Always Me or it's for Home and Away, or maybe even a different intro for I Respectfully Disagree, you know, there's going to be a, a different beat drop, and I'm excited to share it. So when you see the difference, know that it came from my little guy. All right. But to kick this show off properly, all right, to kick this show off right, we got to do it. We got to do it with the intro. Okay. Okay. So we got that. We got that. And we're going to get right into the comments. Okay. I'm hoping you guys are liking the new setup. So it's a little unique. Okay. And actually, you know what? Yeah. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you like this, because it's actually going to lead to me doing a few different things creatively, content wise, that I'm actually hoping to do. All right. But as you can see, hopefully my headphones allows me to do this. Might be limited. Hold on. But I'm able to do all of that. All right. You see the span of what's going on here. So I think there might be some football challenges to other content creators live on camera that I may be doing. All right. Or maybe it'll just be videos to share. But I'm excited to mess around with this new studio setup and maybe put out some, in all fun, some football challenges, maybe some keep ups. All right, but let's get into it. Chelsea DNA. Chelsea DNA. You must have been living under a rock. You must have been out in space, or I don't know, maybe your internet was shut down. But if you haven't heard, Thomas Tuchel, after the Champions League loss, got sacked. According to the news, the reports, Chelsea and him parted ways. Okay, we know what a sacking is, what a firing is, right? But the two of them parted ways. Let me shout out Danny's back, the Mancunian way. Thank you, my dude. I know it's afternoon out there. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support always. And if you guys haven't, check out the Mancunian Way. Check out Pitch Points. Check out True City Fan, and then a new show from Patrick that's actually got amazing vibes. It's Football and Chills, all part of the family. So make sure you guys support, tune in, and know that you can find me there, and you'll find those guys here in the future as well. I'm working on a show that I'm really excited about. But we got to get into this Chelsea DNA. Okay. So Thomas got fired. Let's be real. Got fired. Yeah. Parted ways, whatever. There's been questions around Tuchel for a while. For a while. And it really boiled down to his league performance, his league management, what he was able to do for Chelsea with regards to their season season ending finishes. Okay. Not only did he crawl into the top four last year, but the same happened the year before. And you'll hear it from Chelsea fans. It wasn't even a full year. He hadn't been with the team from the very beginning. Okay, so he got a bly, but he didn't look to finish that season strong. Okay, but you kind of had, hey, you won Champions League, you won all the other cups with relation to winning the Champions League. Give him a chance. Crawling into fourth for 2 years now, and then kind of being under the microscope with how you are to perform this season, how much was invested in the club this season. He was definitely under pressure. He was definitely expected to show that the squad was ready to perform at a very high and consistent level. Not only just performance wise with regards to results, but style of play. Chelsea can't hide from their DNA. And I know that may seem pretty harsh, but their 20 years of success that's often talked about and boasted about by their fans is really their DNA success. Okay. Under their previous owner, it was as cutthroat as it can be with regards to managers, with regards to expectations, league challenging, cup runs. That's what the expectation was. And you would think that maybe a more sustainable, more patient approach, more calculating in terms of less knee jerk reactions would be part of the club. But Chelsea's DNA came out in full force with this Tommy Tuchel firing. Let's be real. Managers don't have a long shelf life over there, and they haven't. New ownership, you would have thought differently, but the Chelsea DNA does not go away. The fan base itself know that to be the expectation, know that to be how they've gotten their success, know that to be, if you're not cutting it, you're out of here. And do I think it's harsh? Of course. I'm a City fan though. Loyalty is a different thing over here at City. Longevity and giving not only managers but players the benefit of the doubt, it's different over here. But at Chelsea, the DNA is cutthroat. It is cutthroat. And the style of play did not give the fans, did not give this new ownership in Todd Bowley, the confidence that success was around the corner or success was coming through. Okay. So it shouldn't be surprising to rivals, neutrals, and come on, Chelsea fans, it should not be surprising to you. It should not be surprising to you that Thomas Tuchel got let go. Let's also scale it back. Let's rewind it a little bit. Okay. And let's bring this to real life examples. Todd Bowley is a billionaire. He now has Chelsea Football Club. He wants it to be successful. He has ideas of what he believes success is. And at the same time, he's probably looking around and saying, here's what I want to keep, here's what I want to let go. And if he sees anything that quote unquote isn't his decision, he's not going to have any affinity to it. He's not going to have any ties to want to see it work out because it's not his choice. Unfortunately, Thomas Tuchel was not his choice. And let's be real, his style of football, was not it. I don't want to go into a earmuff section, okay? I don't want to do an earmuff section for Chelsea. I think it's too soon. I actually tweeted a few times, and I know it's too soon because of the reaction, or I should say lack of reaction, from some of my Chelsea frenemies. But he's not the guy. He's not the guy to be battling in the landscape of what the EPL is right now. You saw the number of players that he brought in, okay? And Thomas Tuchel, he is a visionary, okay? I'll give him that. Thomas Tuchel is a visionary. I think with regards to how he looked at the Premier League, how he looked at the teams that he had to compete against, the fact that he was like, you know what? I'm going to invest heavily defensively to make it extremely difficult to be broken down. Offense is kind of like a afterthought. I want to make sure that I'm difficult to break down first, and then I'll focus on the offense. Okay, not being able to do all things at once. I saw what he was getting at. He's like, nah, City, you're not going to slap me up 5. Nah, Liverpool, that attack, nah, you're not going to get at me for 3. Okay, I know throughout the season he did have his hiccups. Those weren't clean sheets that he was running with his club. But I think defensively is the approach that he took. Let me go to these comments real quick. McLovin goes, his style was demonic, Vader. Keep it keep it 100. Oh, McLovin. I wouldn't say it was demonic, but he didn't want to be get at. He did not want to be get at too. So he was making sure that defensive 5, that defensive 6 was ready, and he had the players for it. But I think the Chelsea DNA is what came through with regards to Thomas Tuchel. 2 years, is that harsh? Is that really different from what we know Chelsea to be? If we want to be real, Roman past ownership would have Tuchel lasted this long based off of last season's results? Chelsea's going to bounce back. Chelsea fans are going to bounce back. They're used to it. Quick, fast rotation. Managers, if you're not doing it, you're out. It is what it is. I think there is a silver lining, though. There is a silver lining. Okay. And the reason why is Tuchel getting fired this early. Okay. Not having to play another season, not having to show how difficult that battle for top four would have been spares him. It spares the fans, it spares the rivals from all of us seeing the deficiencies in him. It's the firing is actually, and when we talk about parting ways, that's the word out there with regards to Chelsea and Tuchel. This parting ways spares him for him to actually have an opportunity at a high level next job. Let's be real. Because it was cut short before he actually, without a shadow of a doubt, got exposed. Okay. I know many have kind of seen it and already labeled him as a fraud, not quite the guy, overrated. But this firing, this sacking, allows for there to be doubts. Wasn't clearly proven. Many will say he was fired too quickly, fired before he did fail. He was spared. He was spared. So that's the silver lining with this. Will Tuchel get another high profile job? Of course. Had he stayed at Chelsea and got exposed for how limited he is as a manager, not taking anything away from it. I know many of you are going to look, you're a City fan, you hate on him because of the Champions League. I can look past that. I've said it before. There's times where I will banter. There's times where I'm just going to go in because I'm mad. But there's also sitting here, let's talking football and being honest with you. I know the majority of the people that I do talk to are City fans, but I'm not saying it to cater to fans. I'm saying what's on my mind. And that's why I love this show. It's kind of diaring my thoughts. Why always me? This is episode 44. It's my chance to just talk football. And I'm being honest with you. I think Tuchel got spared with this firing. Had he remained at Chelsea, he would have gotten exposed for how limited he is as a manager. He would have gotten exposed because he would have been figured out, and he would have been worst off. He 100% would have been worst off. McLovin, you had me cracking up. I couldn't even finish your last message. Always love you being on the channel. Big Morgan, hi chaps. Big Morgan in the building. Appreciate the support as well. We are talking Chelsea DNA. We talked about how Tuchel got spared. All very real. 100%. 100%. And what we're going to get into next, which all City fans are going to enjoy and love. It's going to be that Champions League result. So let me go to this. And let's make it clean. Vader games. Please tell me, are the comments on the side helpful? Does it need to be tweaked? Is the size of the font still good? I'm messing around. This is actually a new setup, right? I got room here, and I'm just trying to make it all work. I actually think that I probably should adjust the camera a little bit because I'm not quite filling the screen here. I think that's better. But we got to get into it. My City peeps, rivals as well. We're talking football, and it's important to see because there's some topics that I'm addressing here that actually are rivals or neutral inspired, I guess. But City versus Seville. 4-0. Okay. 4-0. Was it expected? No, I didn't think there was going to be a clean sheet. Was a win expected? Yes. I thought that the players are going to be dialed in. There's just a There's just a rejuvenated attitude. There's a pursuit that seems to be felt. I feel it as a fan watching the players, how they're attacking, how they're playing on the pitch. I kind of see that. So there's just a focus on this Champions League, and I didn't expect the first game. I didn't expect the first game to be anything other than professional. Now, the 4-0 was surprising. Okay, and I'll tell you why the 4-0 was surprising. Because I looked at the lineup and I didn't do any pre-lineup real predictions because it's so hard to do that. And let's let's be real. With Pep and what he can do in terms of personnel, who knows? I I I I'll be honest with you, I don't study the injury report enough to know whether players are will be back or if they're on the bench. But had I done that, then maybe I'll probably have a better sense on who would have started. But the reason why that 4-0 was surprising, and it's not the four that was scored. The four that was scored was not surprising. Is it expected? No. Surprising? No. All right. It's that clean sheet. That clean sheet is what I was surprised about. And it goes into my next point, and I'm gonna get to these comments. Thank you for continuing to share them. But the reason why that 4-0, the O was surprising, was because of the new back four that debuted. We had we had Sergio Gomez, Diaz, Akanji, and we had Cancelo. That four, those guys did not play together. And you know what I love tying these things together. I don't know if you guys check out some of my thumbnails, look at some of the things that I post, but I often try to obviously I put hints within the comments, but then some of the displays and things, there's messages and messages. I hope you're able to deep the messages and the messages. But this back four, and we scored four, there's kind of like a synergy there. I didn't think that they were going to keep a clean sheet because they hadn't played together. There's so much that needs to happen between defenders, right? You're trusting each other, you're communicating, and you're knowing when one may be going in for a tackle and when one needs to drop back and cover. Communication is huge. And the fact that they were playing for the first time in the Champions League, I had my doubts. I actually was kind of hesitant. I was thinking 2-1, 3-1. That was the vibes that I was getting. How they played, great. Got to be honest. Ederson played well. Kept a clean sheet. He was tested a few times, not in any great length, but when shots were on target, shots did pose a challenge. He was there for it. That was excellent. Now, I'm not going to do a player ratings. I'm not going to talk about every player, especially that back four. But what I did like was that it looked, as a fan, it looked like they were covering for each other. It looked like they knew how each were going to defend in situations, and that is only going to get better with time. Um, I would I would actually assume that that same four is probably going to play on the weekend against the Spurs, and I'm gonna have to touch on that because the next time I talk to all of you will be a week later. So I'm gonna get into that. But I think that four continues again, and everyone comfortable on the ball. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, Sergio Gomez, Akanji, and Cancelo, I feel are most comfortable with the ball. Then Diaz. Diaz defensively, though, the strength that he brings, his aggressive, um, his aggressive defensive approach, like he gets in it. He's not passive. If he reads danger, he deals with it. I like that about him. But in terms of like comfort on the ball, he would be the least of the four. But they all looked really good, and how they were spreading the ball, how the ball kept moving. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Um, Now, the goals. Do we talk about how the goals were broken down, how they were scored? No, I'm not going to get into that. If you catch me on any post match, that's where I'm going to deal with it. You don't need to hear it for a second time. You've probably already watched the match and you've seen it for yourselves. In the future, if I find that there is if if my point of view hasn't been shared, if I'm not quite seeing people talk about it as I'm seeing it, then I'm definitely gonna put myself out there and share that with you guys because I think it's important to always provide a unique perspective. But the midfield and how they worked, absolutely great. The work rate from De Bruyne, Silva, Rodri, quality, quality. Those guys know what it takes. They know what's required of them, and they know the system. Now, in the attack, and this is why there's there's so much excitement. There's so much giddiness, if I should say, amongst the City fans, is that we've we've filled in an obvious gap. Okay, we filled in an obvious gap, and to say that we should have filled this in a lot sooner, one can say that. But the thing that I want to stress, and the thing that's often missed in this day and age, okay, whether you're young or old, doesn't matter. But in this day and age, with how things are, patience, patience is something that's really lost. It's a lost virtue, right? It's far and few in between. And if we want to go back past seasons and us stressing that we needed a striker, we didn't rush to fill one. We knew Aguero was going to be moving on. We knew Aguero couldn't quite do the role the way he had done at such a fantastic level. We knew he wasn't going to be at that level anymore, and we needed to get someone to replace him. Even with the players that have kind of come and gone, we didn't have what we needed in that position. We didn't rush to go out and get a stopgap or get a band aid fix. We didn't do that. We showed patience. And now rivals will want to look and see in what we spent past years, right? They'll look at last season in particular, or I should say the season before that, and look at us spending on Grealish, or they'll look at just spending. You spent 100 million, but we picked up one player, and we picked up a player that one could honestly argue we didn't need exactly at that time, but we had the vision, we had the patience to know in the future we're going to need this profile of player. We're going to need Grealish for the talents and the skills that he has. We didn't rush and get a striker. Okay, we didn't do anything crazy to get Kane. We didn't do anything in terms of like a lesser player to play striker. And the patience that we've shown, the strategy and the long-term vision to get Haaland when we did, and now that we have him, is the benefit that I'm talking about. It's the patience that we all need to try and have for ourselves. Okay, City showing patience are being rewarded right now, and in the game, City showing patience with now how we attack. Holland's going to deliver for us. Holland is going to deliver for us because patience is rewarded. He's a striker that, yes, he wants to make his impact, but he also knows that he needs to just continue doing what he does. The movement in the box, making those center backs never have a moment's rest, is going to pay off. That patience, that resilience, that consistency is going to pay off. Let me go to these comments real quick. Oh, I missed. Oh, sorry, my bad. Dudley, my guy, Big Morgan goes, Ederson did his best not to have a clean sheet. No, he did it, man. Don't do that, Big Morgan. Ederson did his thing. He was his movement was great. I do want him to kind of chill a little bit on him releasing the ball on some of these transitions. He needs to be a lot more careful with that. But nah, man, don't be so harsh on Ederson. Dudley goes, I think City need to drop Eddie because I don't think he fears losing his place. Nah. I would disagree. I think he would need to be dropped if he has a stink performance. He needs to be dropped if he just isn't up for it. If Because it's not only what he's going to have to do instead of in shot stopping. If shot stopping is a problem and he's not positionally in a good place, and he's then also not making good attempts at tracking and saving the ball, I would agree with you. But he's not there yet. He's not there yet. And Ortega is of quality. And I don't think Pep is going to drop Eddie, but I think there is going to be rotation because he also needs to keep Ortega sharp and not for when he is going to put him into a match to be like, I haven't been on the pitch for so long, I'm not ready. So I think there will be rotation with him, but I don't think Eddie's going to get dropped. I don't think that's the case. Mancunian Way goes, sorry, mate, lost my internet connection. Hey, not a problem. Tuning in, whether you're watching me live, commenting live, or catch me on the replay, I love it. And if you're catching me on the replay, okay, what I always love to say is just hit me up with a comment, something that you agree, disagree, like, let's interact. Let me know. Dudley goes, City don't rush to fill positions. Fact. That is a fact. So the patience that they've shown in terms of right profile, right price tag, let's make it happen. Because then, in terms of sustainability and long term, the success will carry on longer. And I see that not everyone is built for that level of patience because you want the here and now, right? But we can't do that. We can't do that. And the fact that we've shown to be patient and having success, you have to fall back and revert to it and say, let's kind of wait and see. They haven't failed us yet, right? City is the benchmark. McLovin, City they're doing a lot of things right. And this I'm also going to say this. And I have no ego with regards to it. And none of us should. And none of us should take offense when this is brought up as well. When others want to say, "Oh, you're da 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 2.0," or "You've taken the DNA from such and such," or "You've just pulled talent from whatever areas and made it your own," that isn't a slight. That shouldn't be a negative criticism. That's recognizing quality, acquiring it, and making your own. And it's seeing good practices, right? There's a reason why, you're going to maybe watch a how-to video, or there's a reason why you're going to attend a conference or seminars, right? You're going to learn from others that have done it and have the expertise. What City's been able to do, and I've said this many times, the fact that we've had to watch our neighbors and the long-standing success that they had for so many years. The fact that we've seen their approach and seen how they've done it, you're gonna pull bits and pieces of what was of quality and make it your own, and then obviously improve on that. You're gonna take that to the next level. And that is why I love what City has been able to do and why there's so much confidence and trust to be like, you've seen the successes, you've seen the failures. Let's write the course here and make it our own. And I love that about City. I don't think we should ever feel a ways about it. They want to call us Barca's little brothers, or they want to call us Barca 2.0 or whatever it may be. The quality is here. It's being done in a City way, and that's why it's City unique. The same thing's now going to happen when you look at, for example, Newcastle. Look at Newcastle's design specs and things that they're trying to do with regards to their facilities and their campus, right? Look at what the best are doing. Take that. Don't reinvent the wheel. Add your splash, add your uniqueness to it, and build from it. That's just the cycle of things. Let me go over here. Mancunian Way goes, I'm lost of this Ederson stuff. Has he made mistakes? Yes. But has Ortega in 2 games? Keepers make mistakes. Part of the game. I agree. I don't know. It seems a little forced with Eddie. It's kind of like a presumed he's not going to be good or presumed he's going to make mistakes. He's going to get challenged. He's going to get tested. What I look at, and it's not necessarily the the first shot that gets put on him, he needs to save. It's the quality of shot that's put on him. It's the situation of the shot. So that's how I'm judging. That's how I judge all keepers, right? And come on, come on. Ederson's been good. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. No Ederson, no Pep ball. Hey, Ederson is absolutely unique in what he's able to do. He's absolutely unique. If many want to say that he's a midfielder in net, all right, Pep has now reinvented football. He's put a midfielder in net. Now what? Now what? All right. McLevin goes, Vader. Ain't it crazy how winning the mighty era defining, highly praised UCL doesn't really secure job security because the bread and butter of football league institutions is the league first. McLovin, that is 100%. How you've summarized that is what many of us, and we're on the same wavelength. It is about the league. It is about how you compete against your peers. Your peers, you got to be nice at home. You got to be a nice amongst the guys that you see every day. You know what I mean? So that's what Tuchel got judged on. And yeah, he kind of got a little grace because he came in mid-season. But and the reason why I go back to that earlier topic with regards to Tuchel got spared, and I think it's also because he got spared because had he remained here longer, he would have gotten exposed further. He comes in mid-season. What he asked of the players and the demand in terms of their defensively, how they were attacking, aggressively, how they were countering, that takes a toll. We're kind of seeing it at Liverpool, right? We're seeing the toll in terms of that intensity, that physical play, the tenacity in terms of how they're all over the pitch. That takes its toll. It's not something that you can repeat year after year. I think what Tuchel did in terms of how those guys worked for him year one wasn't sustainable. Or I shouldn't even say year one, for that half a season, wasn't sustainable. But they were all on the same page and they killed themselves for it. Could they repeat with that same level of running and effort year two? No, we saw a drop off. We saw a drop off. And I think that's also another thing that ownership's kind of looking at is as they review your time here at Chelsea, let me see how things have gone. And things have gone this way. He started here causing problems for City. Obviously, Pep, the first 3 games against Pep losses, right? Liverpool causing problems, right? It was going this way. Okay. And he didn't even close out the season strong in that first year, winning the Champions League. But I think he got figured out. He wasn't showing to be adaptive. And this is why when he gets fired before all of that gets exposed, he's a spared manager and he's going to get a high profile job because all that wasn't exposed. What did Pep do year 2 against him? Didn't allow Chelsea to beat us again. Okay. Now, what's also happened with regards to the rest of the league? He's not catching the wins like that either. He got figured out. He got spared. We got to be real with it. Good comment, McLovin. Let me go to these comments as well. Big Morgan goes, if only Ederson could save a penalty in my lifetime. He will. He will, Big Morgan. And let's be honest, keepers aren't supposed to save penalties. If a keeper saves a penalty, it's because the shooter didn't execute correctly. That's how I was taught. At penalty shots, the advantage is to the kicker. It is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was always taught that a keeper should not save. You kick properly, keeper should not be saving your shot. Mancuniway goes, we can't have both saves and distribution. They are rare as hell. That's a unicorn. We're looking for a unicorn. And maybe that player will come down the road because players are looking at Ederson and are in awe and like, woo, I need to have skills like that. And they're going to try and develop both. I don't think you can. I don't think you can make a shot stopper nice with their feet if they weren't nice with their feet to begin with. I don't think you can do that. Do many midfielders or do many skillful footballers go into net? I don't think so. I think Ederson's rare in that case. And his shot stopping can improve. I hope he's studying tape. I hope he studies. I hope he looks at the same way a striker may look at other strikers and take pieces of their game and try to model that as well. I hope Ederson does the same. I'm hoping he's looking at some of the best keepers. Maybe he's actually reaching out to maybe former keepers. I hope he has that level of study. I think it would make him an excellent, excellent keeper. Bravo saved penalties, but was slated big Morgan. That's true. That's true. It's a good combo happening in the chat. Big Morgan, it's not going to happen. Ederson will save a penalty shot, and when he does, I want you on this show telling me that you're going to live a long life. You're going to live a long life, all right? Edison in the building, my guy. Football coach knows his thing. AC Milan fan. I know he's happy with that result. I know you're happy with that result. We haven't caught up in a while. Mancuni Way goes, we sadly have to sacrifice, mate. To have Pep football is why Hart went. That's true. And Pep knew. Hart, fantastic for the club. I would dare say legend at the club, has been in some huge matches, has delivered big, has been the reason why we won so many games when he was here. He had great saves, but he couldn't distribute the ball, and distribution is key to Pep's play. Is my point, Big Morgan. That's true. No, it's true. If we don't have a ball playing keeper, we invite so much pressure. We invite a high line as well. It's just not good. And the threat that Ederson can bring and can send that ball over top does prevent a lot of the pressure that we would be normally facing, and making a keeper's life a lot more problematic and dangerous. I agree with that. Unicorn called Jay Hart was not that nice with his distribution, but Hart always have a place in this heart. McLevin goes, I'm confused with all the Haaland is the last piece for City to win the CL. Do we ever get knocked out but because we couldn't score goals? Remind me. McLovin, what is it? McLovin, I think, you know how there's like doppelgangers, or there's people that you're just synced up with? I don't know if you're reading my mind today, McLovin. And I don't know if it's because we've had conversations and maybe we're both on the same page, but I've said this. If you really deep it, if you really look back, it's not our offense that had us not advancing as far as we should have been in the Champions League. It is not. And it is not. And yes, I'm North American. I'm out here in Toronto. I believe that the quote is universal, but correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But we often say defense wins championships. We say that. I think it's universal. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat though. But we often say defense wins championships. So, and the bodies that dropped last year in that season, okay? And we know, I'm not going to go through that list again, but the defensive bodies that dropped last year is what hurt us. It is what hurt us. So, yeah, great point, McLovin. Edison goes, I'm not happy, but not mad either. What? Edison, you're confusing me, man. You won. How are you not happy? AC Milan won over Inter. How are you not happy? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would he not be happy? That's like us. Oh, maybe did you suffer injuries? What would be a reason you're not happy? Tell me if you suffered injuries. Mancuni Way goes, Big Morgan, Hart was awful at distribution. He kicked the ball out of play. These guys are going to go at it. I love it. He saved Messi's pen, respect Martin, Joe Hart. Okay, okay, that's true. That's true. Joe Hart did have some highlights. Not mad at that. But let me get back to this whole point about patience is rewarded. So we didn't do anything harsh. As a club, we didn't just look for band-aid fixes. We didn't look to just, let's just fill this gap, even though it's not the profile of player, it's not for what we want. We didn't take that approach. Many rivals do this, right? You'll hear it in particular. You'll hear it a lot from actual Liverpool fans to be like, we just needed to get players in there. There's maybe you had a list of like 10 quality midfielders, but if the gap between the 1 and the 10 and the 1 is what's going to actually be long standing for you, that visionary sustainable approach, if you're not really able to get the 1 that you want or the 2 or 3 that you want, I don't think falling back and getting 10th just the sake of filling that spot makes sense, especially with the market, especially with the cost, right? City being patient and not just getting a stopgap, a filler, and doing their thing with Haaland made absolute sense. And Haaland and Alvarez injected into the team this year is a result of patience. And now our approach, and this is what I want to see within Champions League, guys. I want to see the approach because I've said it before. Obviously, defense wins championships, but I also want to see our approach, whether we're up a goal or whether we may be down. I want us to still show the same patience, the same pressure in terms of recycling the ball and looking for opportunities, looking for the gaps, looking for the weaknesses, looking for the vulnerability that our opponents have, and us being patient while doing that to then striking. I want us to have that approach. I think it's going to just bode so well, and it's going to tire our opponents, and then hopefully make easy work of them. Edison goes, I meant over, Zalberg. Okay, all right. That makes sense. That makes sense. The Inter game was amazing. Okay, Edison's happy with the domestic league. He's just not happy. He's not happy with the cup run. I hear that. I hear that. The Mancunian way goes, Hart is a legend 100%, but he was bad at kicking out, and that's key to Pep's tactic. It's true. We can't avoid that, Big Morgan. I know you want to go back and forth. I know you want to point out that Joe Hart was a shot stopper. Facts. He was a keeper. We loved him for it. He was quality for it. One-on-ones or anything, man was a cat. Matt was reactionary. He got to the ball. But in terms of the system now, if we want to be consistent, we want to do city ball, what city ball is today, we need a keeper that can have good feet and distribute the ball. We do. We absolutely do. All right, let me get to these comments. Dang, I didn't realize I'm that far into the show. Now, because I'm not seeing you guys and girls, I'm not seeing you until next week. What I want to see, what I want, what I want to see this weekend against Spurs, a bogey team for us. And every club has their bogey teams, right? But a bogey team for us, I want to see the same defensive line. They're going to play 5 at the back. We know that's their system. 5-3, whatever you want, because wing backs fall back. But they're going to play with the 5 at the back. I'm okay. I'm actually okay with us seeing some rotation. And I think the rotation should actually happen with Grealish and not Foden. I think Foden should go over to the left. I think Mahrez should play this game. I think Grealish should rest. I think there's going to be a lot of work rate required in the midfield, but I still want to rest Silva. So I'm kind of torn with whether Silva starts but gets subbed off early, or Gundo starts and Silva gets subbed on late, if that makes any sense. Holland plays. Holland plays. He starts, and he does get subbed off early. I think he plays 60 minutes, 65 minutes, and Holland gets subbed off. I like Pep's approach with regards to the subs. I haven't studied this and looked, but I think for the majority of the games, with maybe the exception to Newcastle, Pep's used the 5 subs, at least 4, so pretty routinely, which is good. I want to see that. Um, so yeah, almost the same Champions League 11 with the exception of Foden on the left, Grealish sits, gets rest, Mahrez starts, Holland remains in the middle. I would be okay with Silva. You know what? See this because I don't know the health status for Phillips. I might start Phillips. I might start so Phillips, Silva. No, 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 no. Oh, this is crazy. You know what? I'm probably gonna have to do like you see on Pitch Points and True City Fan when they fill in the starting 11. Martin does that as well. I might have to mess around with that. I might have to mess around with that. But let me quick. Same back four. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but same Ederson, same back four. Okay, so same back four is Gomez, Diaz, Akanji, and Cancelo. Same back four. Now, Phillips, KDB, and Gundogan. And then I'm going to go Mahrez, Holland, and Foden. That's my 11. That's my 11. I'm gonna make sure to put that out there. I'm gonna tweet it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have your own opinions. And let me go back real quick because I know I fell back a little bit. Um, ooh, Edison wants to know if there's any comments on the Napoli and Liverpool. I will get to it. So earmuffs. Earmuffs is the section where I do talk about things that may be a little hard to hear for some of the rivals. So that my earmuff section, and let me show you a brief preview of that.
Max, can you earmuff it for me? We are gonna get so.
So if you don't know, classic movie, old school, and it's kind of fitting because I'm often told that I have an old school approach with some of my approach to things. But old school, great movie. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. But yeah, ear muffs. When something's a little not right for certain ears, you earmuff it. So I'm gonna definitely have an earmuff section later in the show. Um, Big Morgan goes. Big Morgan saying start Bernardo. I'm not mad at that. A start for Bernardo just means that he will get subbed off because I want to keep those legs fresh. He's not playing a full. He's not even playing 80 minutes. No way. He's not even going that far. But Mancunian Way goes, oh wow, we won't agree tonight with your team. Hey, okay, great combo. We're gonna have it. We are going to have it. Look forward to that. And maybe you'll convince me. Maybe I'll convince you. Who knows? All right. Okay. I don't get triggered often. And I'm not even going to say that I got triggered now. But this got posed to me at a point where I kind of did a brief pop in on the football terrace. And while talking about City and its win, I ended up being asked about, or no, I wasn't asked. Terry was just going and talking about, City matches. Sometimes watching it, the matches are boring. Now, as a fan, you're, I would be surprised if that was ever said, right? Um, I know styles of play, and I'm not going to name any names. You guys can name them in the comments. But I know certain teams and style of play that I do find boring, 100%. the back and forth in terms of like their approach, not only defensively, because sometimes defensively it's just like come and attack us and we'll deal with it, as opposed to I'm going to proactively defend you as well. But yeah, some teams, some style of play are definitely boring. To say City is boring is crazy. Now, if you want to say City games are boring because you know it's going to result in a win, it's very different. But to say what you're seeing on the pitch in terms of ball movement, player movement, attack strategies, even defensive strategies, right? Because again, there's passive defensiveness and then there's proactive defending, right? Which I feel City does. City does a proactive defense. You can't look at City and say it's boring. There's a short list of teams that you can look at and be like, okay, yeah, I see the fixture, I see who the head to head is. City's got to win. Boring, they're going to win again. Okay, but to go and watch City play and watch the style of play and say boring, nah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that. Can't agree with any part of that to say City games are boring. City outcomes, maybe, but not City games. Big Morgan goes, Akanji starts. I agree with you. I agree with you. Edison goes, City are not boring. The people who just see the results call it boring. Edison, I agree. They see the result and they say, okay, this is another foregone conclusion or a win. Okay, boring. But to watch the match being played, you can't look at the match and say this is a boring match. You cannot. And if you are, I got to question. I got to question how you look at football. I got to question what you actually pay attention to on the pitch to say that it's boring. Um, we have to play a double pivot to stop Kane. Or, um, hmm, hmm. You know what, Dudley? I don't know if you're around, but you're. Let me know your time zone. I'm gonna be talking preview with Martin on the Mancunian Way. So hopefully you can tune in. We can talk more about that. Big Morgan goes, if Man City are boring, you do not like. Ooh, if Man City are boring, you do not like soccer. You do not like football. Oh, okay. For my UK based friends in the chat, and I see this kind of said with like an American accent as like slander or like a slight or underhanded diss. But correct me if I'm wrong. Did did the game not first get called soccer by Europeans, by English players? Like, don't you have a show called Soccer AM or am I wrong? Like, why do English players, or I should say everyone across the pond, why do you put your nose up like saying soccer is a bad thing? I'm curious. And then going back to this city games are boring. Get out of here. Completely disagree. I don't know what you're watching, but we will have a greater conversation about it because I will now that this has actually come through and I've thought about it, I am going to be challenging that point of view. I need to learn more. Edison gets in the chat and he goes, Chelsea, Juventus, Atletico Madrid, and Porto are boring. Edison, you know ball. You know ball. And we can go as far as to say these managers and their approach towards football is boring. I'm not going to completely label a club, but in this day and age, with the managers that they have, and we'll see where Chelsea goes moving forward, but Chelsea have been boring. Juventus, don't even talk about that. And then Simeone, who is like the anti football, right? You know how there's matter and then there's anti matter. Simeone is anti football. I I as an offensive player, I don't know how any offensive player and their agent allow their players to go there if it's not just for the moolah, for the dinero, for the pesos, for the dollars, for the bucks, for the peas. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why an offensive player would ever go and play under Simeone. It's crazy. Big Morgan goes, Chelsea are very boring. Huge, huge. And maybe that's a big part of why Tuchel got you're out of here. Maybe that's a big part on why you're out of here. What we're seeing, this style of football, out of here. Out of here. All right, let's go to. Okay, this is where. This is the portion of the show. Rivals. You're gonna want to stop watching. If you're sensitive, if you don't like, and if you don't like honest criticism, it's not. I'm not trolling, not agenda. If you don't like an honest point of view with regards to what's being said about your club, that's fine. What I have been noticing, and I know I don't get crazy numbers on the show. It it's growing with regards to me being with a diary. That is what I absolutely love most. The fact that I get many of you not only during the live show being able to taking your time throughout your day commenting and tuning in, but also watching it on the replay and hitting me up with comments. I take tremendous joy from that. But what I also want to point out is I've often heard the things that I say from a uniqueness standpoint getting remixed and said elsewhere. And I'm happy for it. I love it. It's about exchanging of ideas. And first things first, my peeps come first. I'm talking to you guys. You guys are talking to me. I enjoy every little bit of it. And if this show is able to grow and get the numbers, great. If it's just a chance for us to honestly have a convo once a week, maybe more when time permits, that's what I'm here for. Because it's why always me, and it's a unique point of view. So, sensitive rival, stop watching right now. Thank you. I'll catch you on the next show, and we'll obviously have the combo. What I'm going to address first is so when this is on screen, Liverpool fans, turn the volume down. Maybe go and get a drink, get a snack. When that is removed, you can enjoy the rest of the show. Let me go to the comments real quick. Oh, Dudley goes, what you call soccer is wrong because you play it with your feet, hence the name football. No, I get that. I get that. But the creators of what is football called the sport soccer. Like, did not Englishmen, English women, English people, did they not call the sport soccer? I could swear that there's a show called um Morning Soccer or Soccer AM don't you have that show over there? Please hit me up in the comments. If I'm exposing something that's like that shouldn't be revealed, that's fine. But I believe that you guys actually called that your sport. Big Morgan, you know, Mancunian way. Let me know. But I don't take it. I mean, I don't. It doesn't hurt my ears to hear either. Soccer or football doesn't hurt my ears. Mancunian way goes, jumping buddy. See you tonight. We are live 9:15. Spurs preview manager merry-go-round. See you all, and hopefully Rich and Vader Games joins us. I'm gonna catch you. Thank you, Martin. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. You also point out that hit the like and subscribe to this amazing creator and good person. He deserves it. Thank you. Spread the word. Share it. And I appreciate you interacting with the show. I'll catch you tonight. Big Morgan goes, cheers, cheers, Martin. Edison goes, don't get into the soccer football debate. All right, I won't. We'll leave that for another time. Soccer equals football. Relax. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So earmuffs for Liverpool fans. You see that on the screen. Don't listen. Come back when that's no longer on the screen. Okay. For the safety. Let me do this.
Max, can you earmuff it for me? We are going to get so.
Okay. Liverpool fans, and I understand the difficulty of hearing this from a City fan, but there's no. You're going too far by saying if we had a manager, sorry, if our manager got midfielders, that the challenges that you're facing now would be avoided. Like, it's easy to say it, but I also think it's unfair because what I'm noticing from Liverpool isn't necessarily a not having players in a particular not having players in of a profile in your squad. I'm actually seeing players on your team that aren't playing for the team, that aren't playing for each other. I'm seeing some of your, and I'm not being disrespectful. The reason why I say quote unquote is because that's how Liverpool fans talk about them. But I'm seeing some of your great players, right, not play to their level. One thing that can't be ignored and can't be overlooked is when you've had a run of success, when you've had a season like you had last year. Now your opponents look at that match as their final. They are bringing their best effort, their best game. Not only the players, but the manager. Everyone raises their level. As a City fan and my club, I see this all the time. I see some of the not challenging clubs just raise their level to play against us. And that consistent fight that's being put onto Liverpool, it looks to me that the players aren't up for it. There's a certain endurance that's required. I could make the crazy, I could troll, I could do that. Now's not the time. But serious conversation is the players aren't looking to be up for the fight this year, which happens. It's not easy to accept, it's not easy to see, but sometimes there's a I can't go all out right now. I got to coast it. I got to pick my spots. And the pursuit of last season was draining the endurance, the stamina required, fighting to the very last game. And every game meant maximum effort. The start of a new season, the start of a Champions League, you can look at and say, I know how important later in the year is. I'm not giving this effort right now. That's what I'm seeing from the players. I'm seeing players like, and I'll name them. I'm seeing players like Salah. I'm seeing players like Van Dijk. I'm seeing players, especially like Trent, that aren't playing with that same tenacity and aggressiveness, right? Like, and it happens within squads. Is it a we need to completely shut this down, rebuild for Liverpool? Is it that? No, it's not that. But it's recognizing that these players aren't up for it, and sometimes you have to coast. I'm gonna use a track analogy. Okay, picture the 1500. Okay, or picture the mile, however you guys talk about it. But sometimes in a race that requires you to go 4 times around the track, you're not gonna lead you're not going to lead from the gun, right? You might lead the first lap, okay? Liverpool might lead the first year. You might even continue to lead the second lap, the second year. But realizing that everyone is focused on you, everyone's drafting off you, everyone is kind of like just staying within your range to kind of feed off your energy. I'm talking with regards to the run. You have to kind of like play and know that you can't sustain that. And you can't sustain that obviously because of your business model, but also because of the players. Going hard for 4 laps, going hard for 4 years in a row has its toll. And if you've done something that's unprecedented, never done before, Liverpool fans, no, and I'm giving you your props, okay? No one's done the quad or no one's pursued it as far as deep into the season as you have. What are the tolls? What's the aftermath? What are the effects on a player? No one knows. It's never happened before. This is unprecedented, undocumented territory. So I think the aftermath, I think the after effects to what happened last season is it's showing itself this year. And going back to this track analogy, running analogy, you can't go hard every lap. You can't have a record setting run for each lap. You have to actually maybe fall back. And I think this is a season where you may not look to pursue the big ones in your eyes, in your ears, sorry, as you see it, because I've heard many fans say for Liverpool, a successful season is Champions League or EPL title. I've heard many fans say that. Pursuing that is very difficult. These are also two accomplishments that happen late in the year, late in the season, I should say. And I have to say this, and here's where the earmuffs are really important. If out of your own mouths, Liverpool fans, you're saying a Liverpool successful season is Champions League or the Premier League, Klopp has won one Champions League, one Premier League. I believe he's been there for 7 years. If he happens to go this season without either of them, are you saying 2 out of 7 years for Klopp? He's had 5 years of failure, 5 years of failed seasons. Be careful with what you say, and maybe the bravado, and maybe the arrogance, maybe the overstating of your club and what it means, its heritage, to say that we're big Liverpool, you're big Liverpool. If we don't win a Champions League, if we don't win a Premier League, it's a failed season. Look at what that reflects on your manager now. He's had one of each in 7 years. 2 successful seasons for your manager. Check. You guys need to check. You guys need to check that and fall back and put things in perspective, because you're wilding. You're wilding if you're saying a successful season equates to that, because now your manager's only had 2 successful seasons in 7 years. All right. You got to watch how you speak. Words are important. All right. Let me go to these comments real quick. Let me go back to, okay. So Edison goes, I'm hearing Klopp out from Liverpool fans. Yes. And Edison, you've been on the show previously, and I've talked about how, and this is early. And when I talked about how, yeah, I don't get crazy numbers, but I'm also seeing how things that I kind of say get remixed and not credited. But I'm hearing Klopp, and I said Klopp's going to get treated like Wenger. I warned Liverpool fans, don't go the route of what Arsenal did with regards to Arsene Wenger and how they messed with his legacy and didn't recognize what he was doing for the love of the club and how he had to deal with the owners. Klopp's obviously got to do the same thing, but I'm hearing this Klopp out, and it is wilding from some Liverpool fans. Wilding. Dudley goes, Liverpool are an aging squad. Now they're being overrun. They need new young blood. They have the young blood. If you look at their squad, they do have the young blood. I'll agree with Liverpool fans with regards to the injuries. That does play a part, but there's having the injuries, and then they're setting the team to maybe play through it. Klopp has kind of shown that when injury strike their team, He didn't make the right adjustments. I'm remembering recently with him putting midfielders in defense when they had their center back issues. Club has kind of shown some inefficiencies. Edison goes, "You think Liverpool players are saving themselves for the World Cup?" I think there's a I'm working my way into the season, whether it's the World Cup or also knowing how long the season is, and they're coasting. But there's picking your spots. There's picking your moments that a manager can also do with regards to the players in terms of how to manage them and coach them. And why isn't Klopp showing rotation for some of these players that may be saving themselves? Okay, like the quality that they have in terms of players, there should be some rotation made or even early subs to managing the players. I think Klopp's missing something. Who from Liverpool would get onto the England squad? Mm, mm. But I think the larger question too is who from Liverpool would get onto their international squads as well. They do have quality on their teams. What's affecting the upcoming World Cup? Are players kind of concerned about it? I don't think there's a way that they can't be. But I want to also say this. Klopp is showing that he's not quite there. There's something missing. The players are definitely not playing up to the fight that's expected of them. Because just like City, everyone's going to bring you their best game, their A game. Okay, it is a final. It's like a finals against City. It's like a finals against Liverpool. Players need to be up for that, and fans need to be prepared because they're going to get the best from every club. And then to point out and say that had they gotten a midfielder, these issues wouldn't be there. It's a cop out. It's not real. It's like in hindsight type talk, the what ifs. You don't know. I firmly believe that even if they were to get quote unquote the stopgap midfielders that they're talking about, there's a learning curve that's required at Liverpool. There's also the fact that the other players in other positions aren't up for it. You can see it. You can see it from Salah, Virgil van Dijk. I'm not gonna mess with his name, but Virgil van Dijk, Trent, Robertson. I'd actually also point out, and I don't know if it's injury, but Fabinho doesn't look like the same guy. Doesn't look like the guy that they were quick to want to maybe swap and say he's better than Rodri. I'm not seeing that player right now, and Klopp needs to figure out how to put the battery in their backs. 100%. Um, Now it's earmuff times for Arsenal fans. And this earmuff is going to be really short. I just want to remind Arsenal fans, and I know it's been a while from a success and heritage standpoint. You guys have obviously had it, Invincibles, the Wenger years. I know it's been a while since the club has gone to that point again, and the fact that the season started so well, 5 unbeaten, top of the league, the excitement was there. For the young fans, I get it. And I've said this before, Arsenal fans, many, young and old, tend to have a tendency of premature proclamation. Premature proclamation. They want to just say and yell it to the rooftops and say, we are doing this, you're not doing that, we are better, da da da. They do it before it's actually warranted, before it's actually been proven or they've shown that they can. And this is classic. Some fans talking about how they're going to win the league, how they're going to be top 4, how they're going to go late in the season, continued with wins. This earmuff section for Arsenal fans is just reality check. 5 games, 5 games is not the season. 5 games is where you can have confidence, but realize you're playing 38. Okay. So take it easy with some of the boastful talk because it can come back to bite you. And there's a humbleness that's required to winning this league. There really is. There's a humbleness that's needed. I know this as a City fan. Humble. That's what we are. So the reality check for Arsenal fans, I think, is actually going to serve them really well. They're going to get back to playing hard, not being too arrogant. Your City additions are paying dividends, paying dividends. So I think success is going to continue with Jesus and Zinchenko in that squad, bringing winning, bringing league winning is that difference, and I think it's going to make that top 4 a lot more comfortable for you guys this season. Let me go back to these comments real quick. Hallow Bangout goes, Wagwan peeps, my guy, and he goes, where are we up to? Well, we're talking to Air Muscle with regards to the rivals, and I'm gonna have to bounce pretty quickly. Didn't realize that the show's been running like this, and maybe it's the benefit of it being so early. Hello Banga goes the last one. Damn, yeah, but catch me on the replay. Hit me up in the comments. We can also chat, even in the DMs. I'm looking forward to those that are able to comment live show or even post show to be part of my future call-in show guests. I mean, I think that's only right. Edison goes, Arsenal are overreacting from one loss. They're overreacting, but at the same time, they were overreacting with regards to their pursuit, with regards to maybe winning this league and what it takes, going way too far. Fellas, I'm absolutely gutted right now. No, hello, bang on. I know you missed it, but it's all good, my guy. It's all good. We'll get into it. Why did Graham have to go to Chelsea? That is a problem. I'm going to have to address it at another time, not on this show. Maybe there's a bonus show to close out this week, but I fear that he's actually making a mistake. Graham Potter's making a mistake going to Chelsea. When Pep leaves, I wanted Potter. I see that. But when Pep chooses to leave, is Potter still going to be at Chelsea? That's the question. So, Arsenal fans, quick reset. Things are back to normal. Continue what you're doing, looking very promising. Fall back with some of this winning the league talk, but the respect from your peers, it's happening out there because you are playing very good football. Clinical in the building goes, when Pep leaves, I want Luis Enrique. That's a topic. That's a topic. We may have to talk about Pep's departure. And that might be something to include with True City Fan, as well as Pitch Points. So Patrick and Gunnigan and even Adam on Mancunian Blue, Manchester Blue. Damn, I forget his handle on Twitter. But definitely hit me up on Twitter. I'm jumping in his spaces at time. We're gonna have to do a convo moving forward. Now, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, United fans. The success that you are having at your club, I don't like seeing it. It's good for you guys. I don't like seeing it. I like it when you guys are in the mud. But I just want to point this out. And it's a harsh reminder, hence the earmuffs. The Glazers, they know what they're doing. The Glazers aren't going anywhere. Are they committed for ultimate, unavoidable success for United? No. Do they want success for United? Yes. They're not going anywhere. And I've already seen, and this is when Casemiro was just signed. I've already seen a shift. I've already seen the manipulation. League success. Let's see what you guys do in Europa. But the Glazers know exactly what they're doing. And I'm sorry to have to say this, hence the earmuffs, but the Glazers have played the fan base again. It is going to require some very unique and strong fans to continue to pursue, to want them out with that mission. So even with regards to some of the content creators and what they were looking to do, I just I've seen a shift, and it is what it is. Don't know what more to say, but the Glazers know what they're doing. They're smooth with it. Can't hate. Um, Let me hit up these comments. We go. Oh, these guys are still talking about the future manager, and we're going to do a show about that. I want to say this. I hope you enjoyed the background, the new setup. Okay. The new setup allows me to kind of do a little more in the future. I think I'm going to do a keep up challenge. I'm going to do a keep up challenge for some of my fellow creators out there. But let me say this. Thank you all for tuning in. I believe that I'm going to do my best to maybe have a bonus show tonight, maybe after the Mancunian way. But love is always. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV, episode 44. Why always me? I'm going to have to show. Where did I put it? Oh damn! I'm not wearing them, but I gotta show. I gotta show them. So this week's footwear, I'm not wearing them, but you can kind of see they're nice and clean. Apologies, there that might be better. You can kind of see that. So let me know in the comments if you happen to know which shoe those are. Um, and when we reach that 1,000 subscribers, I've got it confirmed that my shoe plug will be able to give out the occasional prize of a pair of shoes to the viewers and the interaction. I'm gonna make that happen. Love how you guys interact, and obviously tune into the show and comment. You make this show amazing, and I love it. Shout out to Dudley, Hallow, Bang Out, Edison, Clinical, Big Morgan, Martin, Mancunian Way, Danny earlier. Please, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone else. And my guy with the comment, we happen to be on the same page today, McLovin. I'm Vader Games TV. Why always me? Episode 44. Spread the love. I'm Vader Games. I'm out.